2,500 years ago, in the land of ancient China, a man asked a question that no word could answer. Not what is justice, not what is beauty, but something older and stranger. What is the Tao? The way. The thing that existed before heaven and earth. The thing that cannot be named. His name was Lao Tzu, the old master. And everything he knew, he wrote in a single night. Lao Tzu loved water above all things. Water is soft. Water is weak. Water does not fight. And yet water carves through the hardest rock. Water fills every hollow. Water nourishes every living thing without asking for anything in return. The highest good, he said, is like water. The Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. Before heaven and earth existed, there was something formless, silent, unchanging. It is the mother of all things. We do not know its name. We call it Tao. We call it the way. But those words are only fingers pointing at the moon. The moon itself has no name. Lao Tzu was not a mountain hermit by birth. He was a scholar, keeper of the imperial archives for the Zhou dynasty. He spent his life among books, records, the accumulated knowledge of kings and wars. And slowly, watching the court grow corrupt, watching power destroy what it touched, he grew tired. The way of the world was not the way. One day he simply left. He climbed onto an ox, a slow, patient animal, and headed west toward the mountains. No announcement, no farewell speech, no disciples begging him to stay. The old master rode away from civilization the same way water flows, without effort, without explanation, following the natural way. At the Western Pass, the last gate before the wilderness, a gatekeeper named Inshi stopped him. He recognized the old master. "Please," he said, "before you disappear, write something. Leave something behind." Lao Tzu looked at him for a long moment. Then he agreed. He took the brush. He began to write. In one night, by candlelight, Lao Tzu wrote 5,000 characters, 81 short poems. Everything he knew about the Tao, about water, about Wu Wei, about the three treasures. When he finished, he handed the manuscript to Inshi, climbed back on his ox, and rode through the gate. He was never seen again. Wu Wei, non-doing. This is the most misunderstood of all Lao Tzu's teachings. It does not mean doing nothing. It means doing without force, acting without struggling, moving with the grain of the world, not against it. The tree bends in the storm and survives. The rigid tree breaks. Wu Wei is the wisdom of the tree that bends. The valley spirit never dies. Lao Tzu spoke of the valley, the low place, the empty place, as the most powerful of all. A valley receives everything. Rain fills it. Rivers run through it. Life gathers there, not because it fought for anything, because it was willing to be low. Emptiness, he said, is the source of all usefulness. The uncarved block. Original nature. Before education shapes us. Before society tells us who to be. Before we learn to perform and pretend. The uncarved block is the child who laughs without reason. The old farmer who works without ambition. The sage who helps without needing to be thanked. Return to the uncarved block, said Lao Tzu. Return to what you were before the world told you what to be. I have 3 treasures, said Lao Tzu. Guard them and keep them. The first is compassion. not the compassion of the powerful looking down, the compassion of water flowing toward the lowest place, nourishing what others ignore. The sage does not compete. The sage simply cares, and in caring without agenda, becomes stronger than any force. The second treasure is frugality, not poverty, not deprivation, but the wisdom of the empty cup. An empty cup can be filled. A full cup receives nothing. The person who needs little is free. The person who hoards much is a prisoner of what they own. Lao Tzu lived this. He left with nothing, and left behind everything. The third treasure is humility. Do not put yourself forward. Stay behind. The river reaches the sea because it is always willing to go lower. The sage leads from behind. The wise person speaks less than they know. Know others and you are wise, said Lao Tzu. Know yourself and you are enlightened. Conquer others and you have strength. Conquer yourself and you are truly powerful. After he handed the manuscript to Yin Shi, the old master wrote on. The mountain pass closed behind him. The mist swallowed him. He left no grave, no temple, no monument. Only the 81 poems. Only the 5,000 characters written in one night by candlelight at the edge of the world. Some say he became an immortal. Some say he was never a single man at all. Perhaps it does not matter. The Tao Te Ching has been translated into more languages than any book except the Bible. 25 centuries after it was written, people still read it. Not because it gives answers, because it asks the right questions. What is real? What is lasting? What remains when everything else falls away? The Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao, but the book that asks this question that has lasted. All things arise from the Tao. All things return to the Tao. This was not a sad philosophy. It was a liberating one. Nothing is truly lost. The leaf falls and becomes the soil. The river reaches the sea and rises as rain. The sage dies and returns to the nameless source from which everything comes. Returning to the root, said Lao Tzu, is called stillness. Stillness is called returning to one's destiny.